Well, hey, my baby. Hoping everyone is good. Hoping everyone is great. It's a beautiful day outside. I love to sit, and what I have is my peace room, the room full of plants, and I don't know, my own take on decor. And I have two windows here, so I get ample light from my plants, but I also get to hear the birds chirping. And I don't know, they do something great to my soul. I hope everyone is feeling well. Hope you are feeling energized. And if you're not, it's okay. Baby, you a human. And it's okay. Life be lifing and things be happening. Now for this episode, I want you to sit with me for a minute and take this in. Because this right here, this is one of those conversations that we don't need to move quickly through. This kind of conversation is the one that you're going to feel in your chest. And if you've ever been betrayed, whether that was in a relationship or a friendship or even with your own family, then you already know that this isn't just about being hurt. It's always about something deeper. And this is something that will truly settle into your body before it makes sense in your mind. And what I want to do today is not just tell you that it hurts, because you already know all of that. I want to help you understand why your body reacts the way it does, why your chest begins to tighten, why your thoughts will not sit still, and why you feel like you're either about to shut down or you're about to explode, and why sometimes you don't even recognize yourself in those moments. Because the feeling of heaviness, the feeling of anxiety, that feeling of panic, confusion, that's real, and it's not you being overly dramatic or none of those things. It is really your nervous system trying to make sense of something that broke trust where trust was supposed to reside. Because betrayal is not just an emotional experience. It really is a full body experience. Because let's be real, when somebody really just crosses you, somebody that you really trust, when they lie to you, when they disrespect you, or they begin to show you a version of themselves that contradicts everything that you believed about them, your body doesn't know what to do. It's just not, oh, they hurt my feelings. Your body begins to asking deeper questions. Like, you start wondering if you are really safe around that person. And when your body doesn't immediately get an answer to that question, it goes into protection mode. This is what we call that fight or flight, when we freeze. And I want you to understand that these words that I'm saying, so that you can recognize yourself without feeling that something is wrong with you. Because many times, fight looks like anger that feels bigger than the whole type of situation. It's your raised voice. It's the need for answers, whether it is minimal or often. It's the replaying of conversations in your head where you wish that you had said more, or you said better, or you just even said it louder. It's that fire in your chest that, it sits and resides, and you ask yourself, now how would a person really just do this to me? Flight. Now that's when you want to run. You don't want to talk. You don't want to explain. You don't even want to be around the person, or sometimes not at all, like completely done. You begin pulling away. You begin distancing yourself. You will detach yourself from that person. And, it's not riddled in you not caring anymore. It's just because you can't be present with the offense that has broken your heart. And now when we talk about freezing, now, that's the part that people don't talk enough about. That's when you really be feeling stuck. You're feeling numb. You don't react. You don't respond. You are just there and you quiet. You process, but you really ain't processing. Your body is so overwhelmed, it just pauses on everything. And we have all been there. And then there's the place that people, see as fun. And this is when it's real gentle, but it runs deep. when you start trying to make peace with something, or that you're over explaining something, or you're over accommodating, or maybe even minimizing what happened just so you don't lose the connection with the offense that the person presented to you. Now I want to reiterate to you that none of these responses that you feel is connected to weakness at all. These are all protective responses that your body is trying to keep you safe the only way that it knows how. Now, the deepest part of what we do with ourselves and the reaction is that sometimes we can't stop the reaction. I mean, something happens and we go into shock. You walk in on something that you weren't supposed to see, and everything is violated from your sight and your body, and so you have a reaction. There is nothing that you can do in the in-between to stop. When you found out a lie or a betrayal, your body and your mind is going to react. It's nothing that you can do in the in-between to stop yourself from reacting. So when I say that it's not a weakness, or that you have to alter the way that you may show up when things happen, you do not. This is the mind and the body's responses to something that has truly alarmed you. Now let me explain one of the biggest reasons you feel anxiety after betrayal, because your sense of safety has definitely been shaken. And it's just not physical safety. It is your emotional safety. It's when you feel like you can't rest in someone's presence without questioning their true intentions, where you have to read between the lines or second guess their words. And that's when you know that you are broken and your body starts scanning everything. You start looking at them different. You start pulling away. Again, you start questioning everything that comes out of their mouth. You're paying attention to their tone, to the timing, to the little shifts of behavior. You begin to analyze things you never had to analyze before. You ask questions like, what did I miss? How didn't I see this? What else didn't I know? And all of that can feel exhausting because your mind is trying to prevent this from happening again. But in doing so, it doesn't know how to reset. Another reason that it hurts so deeply is because betrayal creates what I want you to understand as a rupture in trust. And trust is not about believing, someone else. It's about how you felt with them. So when that trust is broken, it doesn't just make you question them. It makes you question the decisions that you have had for yourself and in congruence to that person. You start wondering if your judgment is off, if your intuition perhaps failed you, if you ignore the signs that you should have been paying attention to, and now you start sitting there trying to rebuild not just your trust with people, but your trust with you. Yeah, this thing gets deep-seated. And in that, we also grieve the idea that we thought we knew a person, but perhaps we didn't know them as much as we did. That their character, that what they showed us in many situations did not equate to the betrayal or the distrust that we find ourselves in looking at them now. And so we grieve the idea of someone that we thought we knew, but we didn't. And, to grieve the version of that relationship that you believed in. You begin to grieve the conversations that you thought were real, the moments that all felt so genuine, and the future that you imagined with this person. And that grief, it doesn't always get acknowledged because the person is still there. But the connection that you thought you had is not. And so your body feels that. Another level, and this is also called emotional flooding. And that's when everything hits you at once. It's when your heart is racing, your thoughts are very loud, your chest feels very tight, and your stomach feels uneasy, and you can't seem to calm yourself down no matter how much you try and think your way through it. Your nervous system will always keep saying to you in that process, this is too much at this time. Because see, anything unexpected does not allow you to brace yourself in the process. When that happens, logic does not lead, your regulation does. So the question becomes, as imperfect humans, how do we manage this? Well, the first thing that you have to do, you have to understand, is that when betrayal and something major happen, we got to stop rushing ourselves to say that it's all okay. It doesn't matter how long you need to process it. You got to process it. So it's not identifying that perhaps it's a week that went by and now I got to get over this. It's processing through every occurrence in which happened through that situation. Because the most important thing about all of that is that you cannot rush healing from something that disrupted your sense of safety. You got to give your body time to settle. You got to give your mind space to process it. And you don't have all the answers today or tomorrow or the next day. Give yourself space to just sit with it. The second thing is to start listening to your body instead of you trying to override it. If your spirit feels unsettled in that space, don't talk yourself out of it. If your chest becomes heavy by thinking of it, I don't want you to ignore it. When your body is communicating with you and it speaks before your mind can explain, sit there. Another thing is regulate before you respond. And that part is important because when you are in fight or flight, anything you say or do is coming from a place of protection and not necessarily clarity. And so many times what works for people is just to take a moment. You need to breathe. You need to step away from it. You need to let your body calm down before you decide on how you're going to handle that situation. You deserve to respond from a place that represents you and not just your pain. And again, emotions will put you into a space that is outside of the core being of who you are. When someone angers you, and I mean to like the highest form of anger, many times what we do is we go outside of ourselves, saying things that we probably meant, but not meant so harshly. Our body tenses up. Our physical being represents something very angered, very threatening. And so these are just tools in the in-between to recognize that this could be your reaction. And it might come before you can settle yourself down, but always remember to breathe, slow down, and don't let your reactions take over the sense of person that you truly are. One of the most important things as well is I don't want you to isolate yourself in your healing. Many times it is important, I think, in the beginning that if you need to sit with yourself to just kind of process everything, that is acceptable. Because sometimes people around you may not understand how heavy this is for you. But I don't want you to sit in the space of isolation, the duration of your healing process. Because I know that in the length of time, it is tempting to just pull away and to be quiet and to process everything on your own. But safety with people is more important as well in the process of you moving through that healing. So I want you to find someone who can hold space for you without trying to fix you. Someone who can listen without trying to rush you through these feelings or give you alternative, things to say, do. Just someone who listens and who's open to seeing you in your emotional state, but also hearing from your perspective how things have really hurt you from the inside. And lastly, I want you to give yourself permission to just redefine the relationship with yourself. And if you choose to, with the other person. Because just because someone was once close to you does not mean that you got to remain in that same position in your life. And unfortunately, for those who don't like it, sometimes healing looks like distance. And sometimes it can look like boundaries, and sometimes it can look like you just completely letting go. And I want to also reiterate to you that the decision to move back, to create a boundary, to do what's best for you, it does not mean that you are a cold-hearted person. It makes you very aware of what you can and cannot do, what you can stand and cannot stand, and that's a part of growing. And I also I really want to reiterate this as well, that your reaction is not a flaw. We all have it. It doesn't matter how cool, calm, and collected you are. Everybody gets angry. Everybody gets upset. Everybody has a flight or fight response when it comes to something and the level of betrayal. But the difference in walking through these places is how you react after. You've been lied to, you've been betrayed, you've been treated unfairly. It's what you do in the aftermath of that. I want you to tend to yourself. I want to make sure that you are stronger every single day, that you are putting in the time, the work, the fulfillment that you need to do. And I also want to reiterate again that if you feel like you can't go back to a person that have betrayed you, you don't have to. You don't have to show up with open arms and with an open heart. We can love people from a distance and choose to separate ourselves from them because what they did, the betrayal was too much, the lies were too strong, the disrespect we can't take. And so we walk away in peace. Before I close this out, I want to pray, if that's okay with y'all, because situations like this can be very heavy, and it requires us to really settle in our spirit about what we are experiencing. The other part of that is that if we hold it too long and it becomes too heavy, there's a seed of resentment and bitterness that shows up in the way that we treat other people around us who love us dearly, and how we walk through situations with not trusting people at all. Those people were not the cause of it. But you'll put good people in a category with bad people because you have not healed and fixed yourself. Dear Lord, I come to you on behalf of the ones whose hearts feel heavy right now. The one who doesn't see it coming, or maybe did, but they just didn't want to believe it. The ones who trusted, they opened up and now find themselves trying to make sense of what feels like a breaking on the inside. And Lord, I know you know what they're holding. The confusion, the hurt, the questions that keep replaying in their mind, and that heaviness that is in their chest when they think about what happened. You see how their body reacts before they can even put it into words. How they're trying to stay strong while falling apart in moments no one else sees but them. So right now, Lord, I ask that you gently meet them where they are. I pray that in this process they know not to rush it. That they are not surrounded by people who want them to get over it. But I want you to surround them with people that remind them that they are not alone in what they feel. Lord, please calm their nervous system, settle their mind when it starts to race. Lord, I ask that you ease the tension in their body when it feels like too much at once. Let your presence be the thing that slows everything down when life starts to feel so overwhelming. Remind them that what they're feeling is valid, that betrayal hurts because they are loved, because they trusted, because they showed up with sincerity, and that does not mean that they are weak. It just means that they are human. And Lord, even in the strength of sometimes of our spiritualness, we become weak in not understanding how humans are the way that they are. God, restore what was shaken inside of them. Lord, give them a sense of safety where it's been disrupted. Help them rebuild it, not just in others, but also within themselves. Help them trust their own voice again, trust their own discernment, trust what they feel without having to second guess their instinct. Lord, where they feel anxious, bring them peace. Where they feel broken, bring them wholeness. Where they feel confused, bring them clarity, even if it comes in little tiny pieces. And Lord, please give them the strength to set boundaries without feeling guilty. Give them the courage to step back from what no longer feels safe, and give them the wisdom to know that protecting their peace is not punishment to others. It is the care that they need for themselves. Lord, I ask that you surround them with people who are gentle with their heart, people who don't take advantage of who they are, but they honor it. And most of all, Lord, I want you to remind them that this moment, just as painful as it is, will not define the rest of their life, because they will laugh again. They will trust again. They will feel safe again. But for now, let them rest in you. Lord, hold them together in the places where they feel like they're coming undone. And let them know they are still worthy of love that is honest, safe, and it can be returned. And in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Ooh, let's take a moment. Y'all good? Okay. I try not to make too many episodes heavy, but listen, life is life. Okay? Being human is human. It doesn't matter where you are from or where you're going. We all have some of the most congruent type of situations, and betrayal is something that we all have felt from people that we loved so much. So I hope that this episode set in your spirit. I hope you hugged yourself while you listened to it. I hope that you felt warm and all of those things. And please, 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 in the process of your healing from betrayal, from lies, from things that were done to you, do not sit in this space of isolation. Find you someone that can listen, that can hold your hand, that can be present, and that is there for you. All right, my babies. I'll see you next time.